Why is it that if people get money, particularly in the Western world, famous rock stars, they have so many cars? Why is that? Why did this one Indian yogi, I will not name his name, but it starts with O and ends with Sho. So why did he have 81 Rolls Royces? That means he's insane. He's not clear about his spirit. He's not serious. I would have gone to him and said, when are you going to become serious? Death is coming. 41 or 80, 82, 83 Rolls Royces. It means you're not serious about your life. You don't understand. Death is approaching you, and you can't take one Rolls Royce with you. It means he's not in an identity crisis. As it says here, when man deviates from his original consciousness, he loses the capacity to remember his previous position, recognize the present one. When remembrance is lost, all knowledge is based on a false foundation. All knowledge, whatever you acquire. If you say 1 plus 1 is 3, and then plus 5 is 8, plus 2 is 10, plus 10 is 12. You may add so many different additions, but the end result will be wrong, because the first conclusion, 1 plus 1 is 3, is wrong. So whatever people do, unless the first step is aham brahmasmi, I'm a spirit soul, every conclusion is wrong. Every conclusion is wrong. And you may be a house, naturally, even as a pure devotee. Yes, he has a house, he has a wife, he has children, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But what is his attitude? Manasa, my mind. My manasa deo, my deo, my body. Geho, my griha, whatever I have. Manasa deo geho. Yoki chumora, whatever I possess. Arpilan tu apadi. I use in the service of your lotus, I offer to your lotus feet. Nanda Kishore. Beautiful prayer. Manasa deo geho yoki chumor apilan tu apadi. Nanda Kishore. Everything is there. And this is true for in any position of life, whether you're a householder, whether you're grihastha, brahmachari. This is actually the situation that you offer things to Krishna. You live in Krishna consciousness. And every other thing, you may be the prime minister of a country, you may be a person who lives in a slum. You have to serve. There was this one devotee in our temple in Hamburg. His name was Vasudeva. Vasudeva was a great painter, is a great painter. And he was so good, he went to Los Angeles and he painted the whole ceiling of the Los Angeles temple. If you ever go there, Pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, there's a film and Prabhupada comes into this temple. He pays obeisance and looks up the ceiling and sees all these paintings of Vasudeva. Now Bob Dylan had a face. Who knows Bob Dylan? Bob Dylan, famous singer in America, makes nice texts. And he became friends with this Vasudeva. Vasudeva moved into his house and he painted the ceiling. And then Bob Dylan came out with a serve. You may be, it's called serve somebody. He said, you may be a prime minister, you may be this, you may be that, you may either you have to serve the devil. If you don't want to serve the devil, you have to serve the Lord. But you have to serve somebody. That was his song, famous. You got to serve the devil or you got to serve the Lord, but you got to serve somebody, because that's the service is a dharma of the living being, of the soul in his essential being. Like Lord Chaitanya said, the soul is eternal servant of Krishna. So that's the thing. If we don't see that, then we are lost in the material world and we're not going anywhere. And so even if we work very hard, and this brings me back to the pot, the story of the pot, Krishna works us, put us in a situation. He has a plan for everybody at every moment, and therefore there's no use to point your finger on somebody, because he's in Krishna's workshop, like the pot. He's in Krishna's workshop, and the pot is Krishna. This workshop is so huge. There's millions of living entities in this workshop of Krishna, unlimited, right? That you cannot understand how Krishna does this as this moment. How does it manifest in the material world? Why is it that I'm getting sick? Why is it that I have this inconvenience right now? Why is it that such and such dies, devotee? Why is that? Well, this is a reality, and the reality is what Krishna creates. You know, whatever we experience at every moment, that is actually, there's nothing but Krishna. It may be in happiness, it may be in distress, it is nothing but Krishna. Therefore, we have to learn to love what is. What is. Whatever it may be, we have to learn. That's what Krishna gives me right now. And it may be happiness, it may be distress, it may be suffering. Even suffering, it is another form of Krishna. You know, whatever it may be, it's another form of Krishna. You may be worried about something, Krishna will take care of you if you turn to him. We have to turn to Krishna. That's a more amazing thing. The big thing is not this and that problem, this or that. The big thing is here. That's a big thing. That's a big thing. The biggest thing in life is right here, you know. If he gets this right, then everything falls automatically. And there is a beautiful, let me find this here for you. Yes, here we go. There's a beautiful saying, but by Haridas Thakur. He said that chanting Krishna's name is the topmost activity in the entire universe. Think about that. The topmost activity in the entire universe. Then he continues, indeed, in the whole universe there are only two meaningful truths. But meaningful truths. One is the jiva, and the other one is the holy name. That's all we have to worry about, the jiva and the holy name. Everything else, he says, is deceptive. I play on the illusory energy of God. You know, so this is a big thing. And if we chant, there's more coming out of the beatbag than just the finger. The finger comes out of the beatbag, that's true. But that's so much more. There's so much more, you know, than just a finger. I mean, I went to the immigration, not immigration, security one time, and my finger, he said, "Man, I'm carrying a weapon there." This is a weapon. Somebody thought, you know, some of the security person said, no, very simple. My japa beads. Yeah, I should have checked it through the machine, you know. So the big thing is that the holy name is our greatest treasure. That japa is the most important activity of the day. When will I want only Krishna and nothing else? That's a challenge. When will I want only Krishna and nothing else? It's such a tremendous thought. This sentence, when will I want only Krishna and nothing else, I got it from Satchidananda Swami. It's a very great sentence. When I want only Krishna and nothing else. Then, Nama Chintamani Rupam Mamaiva Paramagatim Namna Paratam Nasti Tasman Mama Bhashe. The holy name is a beautiful transcendental touchstone. It is a supreme goal. There's nothing higher than the holy name. I therefore worship the holy name. Because what happens when we worship the holy name? We associate with Krishna. What better association can we get, possibly? You know, just like when you put iron in fire, it becomes fiery. Whether he likes it or not, whether you like it or not, you become Krishna conscious when we associate with Krishna. You can't help it. It's a matter of time that the iron becomes hot if you put it into fire. So in the same way, if we chant, chanting, remember, if we perform these activities, we are becoming surcharged gradually in Krishna consciousness. And if we all continue like this, that one day we will see each other in the spiritual world. If you arrive in the spiritual world, you realize, oh, there's this devotee is there, and Upendra is there, and everybody is there. The elephant head also, he's there, Gajra, Nan, and just about everybody. Yashpal is there, and I don't know so many names. Gangnam is there, everybody. So this is a process. Krishna says, Yajnanam japa yagosmi. Of sacrifices, I'm the chanting of the holy name. He's there in the name. And thus leave all things aside, give it all you got. Now comes the point that also is part of this verse. Namely, that it is stated here, Kapila Muni, who is characterized by his golden hair, he will uproot the deep-rooted desire for work in this material world. God does that. The blessing comes from the top. God does that. We have to do the best, Krishna does the rest. So Haridas Thakur says, simply by one's own endeavor, alone, just by the endeavor alone, no one in this world can overcome distractiveness, that he's distracted when chanting the holy name. No one can overcome this tendency. Such victory can come about only by your merciful blessings. Therefore, it is absolutely necessary to beg for your grace, says Haridas Thakur. And I just saw on the internet a little slip. Where did I see that? Let me just see, find it. It's a wonderful little thing. Srila Prabhupada said, there's so much sometimes I don't remember where it was. Let me see if I can find it here. Give me a second. No, I can't find it where Prabhupada said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that, yes, I know where it is. 1 second. No, it's not there. Let me see where it is here. Oh, now I know. Now I know. J, there it is. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, every day one must complete his prescribed number of rounds, according to his vow, whatever the vow is. One should chant sincerely, being careful not to sacrifice his quality of chanting in his eagerness to complete his vow. One should strive to improve the quality of the chanting rather than increasing the number of rounds for show. The name of the Lord should always be pronounced distinctly. This can be achieved, now, here's the point. This can be achieved only by the grace of the Lord. There is the point. To chant without distraction. The name of God. One should pray for the Lord, therefore, that one does not fall victim to distraction and can taste the full nectar of the holy names. So this is it. We need to pray. And the same, by the way, exactly the same, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says at another stage, namely, in his beautiful chant anyway. He says, when we chant, Your mind is wandering all over the universe when you chant. You agree? Right? Mind is wandering all over the universe. Chant anyway. Your mind is wandering to the past, to the present, the future when you chant. True. Chant anyway. You're not able to concentrate on Krishna's names when you chant. Chant anyway. You have no taste for chanting. It's true. Chant anyway. You have lusty desires. Chant anyway. You're making offenses in chanting. Chant anyway. Now comes the point. The actual most important. You're not praying to Krishna to help you to chant better. That's the point. You know, we have to pray to Krishna that I may chant better. I find this the most essential point of all the points he said. You know, that we have to pray to Krishna because, like Haridas says, no one can chant without distraction, without the grace of the Lord. Such victory comes about only by Krishna's blessing. That's the thing. We have to ask, just as it says here, he will appear to uproot the deep-rooted desire for work in this material world. That deep-rooted deception within ourselves, that deep-rooted, we cannot even see it, lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, envy. Why do we see a spot in our brother's eye? Why do we see? Because it is envy. Matsarya, is it? Matsarya is envy. There's envy there. That's why we detect something in somebody. And some people, sometimes the mentality is to find something. Even Mr. Desai, you know, the good friend of Prabhupada, and who later became such a well-wisher of our movement, particularly in Chopati. He met Prabhupada unfortunately, he left his body last year, a couple of years ago. And he went to Bhutan and had a heart attack. And so he met Prabhupada, and he said, when I met him, I couldn't find fault in him. Because that's what people do generally in the material world, particularly business people. They try to find some fault in a person. He sees he's attached to women. Then they say, I can help you. You just put him in contact with a woman, or somebody's into money, somebody into fame. You start praising him. You are the best businessman in the world. You know, you go to shop in Loy Bazaar. I mean, they tell you anything. You know, Mr. Prithu does, practically speaking, I'm your shishya to sell that dhoti to you, right? So he said, I tried to find, I couldn't find fault in this person. You remember that tape he made? It's a videotape. And then I realized that he's a pure devotee of God. You know, so Prabhupada, he was faultless, but everybody else of us is full of fault. But we don't want to see that. We have a wonderful opinion about ourselves, but we do the splinter in the brother's eye. This is a symptom of Matsarya. So these things are in us, lust, anger, greed, madness. How do we get rid of them? Krishna, 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 Krishna. Just like these demons, actually we know this from Shikshamrita, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they're taking personalities in Krishna Lila, and Krishna kills them all one after another. He is a killer of the demons, even in our own heart. We cannot do it ourselves. That's why we have to take shelter. Sarva Dhamman Prijaja, Mamikam Sadanam Raja, Aham Tvam Sarva Pavibhyo. That's the essence. Okay, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Then you said that we're told to remain bell. The remain? Bell. Yes, the bell. I forgot. The bell is, you see, if you want to make a complete, perfect bell, yes, you have to work like anything. But the blessing that it will turn out perfect is only possible if you have the grace of God. If God says, you may work like anything, but I don't agree, there will be a crack or a bubble, even a bubble in the bell, and the bell will not sound right, you know. So Sachinanda Swami is an expert sometimes as coining sentences. He said, we have to do the best and then Krishna will do the rest. A very nice and simple formula. Do you have any questions? Then, Sarida Vidyajaya, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama. And again, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He created our good fortune. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.